Hey guys, okay, so today's super quick lesson is going to be on string bending. So we're going to be doing this on the G string, third string, 1, 2, 3, on fret 12, double dots. We're going to start off by getting the hand in position first. So we'll start off by just placing the third finger on fret 12, third string. Then from there we're going to make sure our thumb is up and over the top there. And then we're going to make sure that this part of the finger here is up on the bottom there. So you've got two contact points, one here and one here. So if I take this off now, you can see my contact point here and my contact point here. All right. Now with the finger off, the movement we're going to be making, we're going to curl the fingers like this. We're going to curl this knuckle and this knuckle when we're on the string. I'll take it off again. And then we're going to rotate the forearm like this. And you'll see, by keeping the contact point here and here, I'm getting this movement with the third finger up and down. So this movement is a bit like, make sure that's in focus. It's a bit like if you were to turn a key. It's the forearm rotating like that, okay? So if I come back here, third finger, fret 12, on the third string, contact point there. All right, I'll bring my finger off the string, and if I just make that forearm rotation whilst keeping the reference points, keeping the contact points in place, you'll see that the third finger can go up and down, and that's the motion that we're going to be using when we play and bend a string. Okay, let's put the third finger, fret number 12, there. Now this is the finger that's going to be playing the note and bending up, but a bend is it's a bit of work, right? So probably too much work for one finger. So for that reason, we're going to take the second finger, place it on the same string directly behind the third finger, so it can help push the string up with the third finger here. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're just going to play the note. By the way, we're just going to ignore the first finger for a second. Some people do like to use the first finger as well as the second to support the third, but I don't think you should do that. I used to do that until I was taught a different way, and I'll show you what we can do with that in a second. So first of all, let's just try and achieve the bend, all right? So we're going to keep that contact point there and there all the way through. I'm going to play the note, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate up like that. Hey guys, okay, so I'm going to cut in here because after watching the main video that I recorded back, I've realized that I've missed something quite important out. So I'm just going to record that now, pop it in, and then we'll get back to the main video. So what I failed to mention in the original video, let's get that in focus, was when you bend the note up with these two fingers here, you're going to be bending the third string, right? We know that. But your fingers will also be catching the D string and bending that up. But when you bend the G string here, you're actually fretting, you're pressing it down into the fret and you're bending up. With this D string, you're not going to be pressing it down. You're going to be underneath it and just pushing it up. So it's still kind of hovering above the frets. You don't want this D string here. As you can see, it's kind of hovering above the frets there. You don't want it to fall down so that it's kind of, you're pressing it down as well. You don't want that. You want to be underneath it and just catching the underneath. So you're just pushing it up, just like that. So this note, the G, you're fretting and bending, and you're just underneath that D there. Okay, back to the main video, guys. All right, now what you might find when you first start doing this, you might find that your fingers do the pushing like this. You don't want that. It's just too much work for those little fingers. The fingers just hold their shape. They hold their curvature on each knuckle. They hold it solid, and then you rotate the forearm up just like that. Okay, contact point is maintained there and there. You might find at first the contact point here, you might do something like that. So I can rotate the forearm, but if I don't have the contact point, you know, nothing really changes. I might get a little bit of change. So you have to keep that contact point there. See, that doesn't move. That stays. It's touching the bottom of the fretboard there at all times. Okay, so what are we going to do with this first finger? Well, the first finger, like I said, some people like to use it as additional support. You could do that to start with, maybe, just to make sure you get the strength. But ideally, this first finger here is going to act. This can be a bit fiddly, so maybe just get used to the bending first with these two fingers, because that's going to take a little practice, if I'm honest. It usually does when people do this for the first time. But when you are happy with the bend, you can then start adding the first finger. Actually, before I talk about the first finger, when you're bending a note, you're generally going to be bending up either 1 fret or 2 frets. It's quite common to bend 2 frets, okay? So this note here, if I come back, this is fret 14, back here. I'm bending up, it's the same note, or it's meant to be the same note as that. At first you might go, it might be a bit flat, not high enough, or you might go a bit too high. The more you practice the bend, the better you'll, say that again, the more you practice the bend, the better you'll get at that intonation, at judging how high or how low. Okay, I practice slow to start with, because then you can kind of stop it when you hear that it's right. So play it on 14, hear it, get used to that sound, and then stop it nice and slow. If you go too fast too soon, you might just not get it right. The better you get though, you know, the better you get at it, the more able you'll then be able to bend up quick, just to the right note. So, let's get back to this first finger again. This first finger then, it's going to be used as a mute. It's going to mute the string directly above the note you're bending. At the moment, I was muting the string above with my thumb. But we're going to use, you can still do it with your thumb or a pick, that's something slightly different. But with this hand here, you want to make sure, if you can at some stage, that you just gently touch the string above with a flatter finger. This is not curled. These two are curled, this is flat. You touch it very gently so that this note above is muted, right? So if I do a bend up and down, it's all nice and clean. Because what can happen is if this first finger isn't on that string, and I do a bend up and down, ready? You hear like a little bit of noise from when I'm hitting this string and then coming off, ready? Sorry, try again. Hear that? Just a bit of noise. So if I get this on there, and I do the same thing, I control the noise. With this hand here, what you would do if you've got a pick, have I got a pick lying about? Must have a pick lying about. Try this one here. Okay, so if you've got a pick, then you can play the note. I would mute with this one for sure, but you can also mute with this one too. So you can bend up. As soon as I play the note, I'll touch the D string with the pick, like that, and then I'll bend down. So now I've got control over this string above, both with this hand and with this hand here. So pluck, and then I'll just touch the D string. I'll be underneath the D string, like that with the pick. So I've got total control over that D string. And that there, guys, is the bending technique that you want to be utilizing and working on. It's, you know, just the way to do it, if you ask me. So give that a go. Have fun with it. Any questions, just ping us a little comment or whatever, and I'll be sure to answer. So give that a go. Take care. See you again soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.